Hello, welcome back. This is Braemar, and today we're going to be playing more Conflicts of Nations World War III. Today I want to look at naval warfare. We will look at the different boats available and the different submarines available. I have them all lined up here. First, we'll talk about how you heal a boat, since that is the number one question I always see asked. First, move your boat to coastal waters, and they will heal over time. I've had these guys here for a couple of days, and now they're almost back to full health. Now, what are coastal waters, you might ask? Well, now, it may be very hard to see on the PC, but on the mobile game, they've added these squiggly lines. You can see this blue squiggly line underneath this boat. Anywhere that you see squiggly lines is coastal waters. Once you're away from coastal waters, it becomes deep waters. Now, the coastal water starts at the halfway point to deep waters. So this would still be considered coastal waters, while this would be considered deep waters. And now into the ships. First, let's look at the guys best for coastal defense. The Corvettes. These little guys are amazing at protecting your cities and patrolling shallow waters. They have a normal attack range of 50 and can detect submarines at a range of 75. Their movement is the best in shallow waters at 2.5. Get these guys early on if you have a coastal nation. They will be your best friend. They have a small amount of anti-air and at later levels can launch one cruise missile. By the way, the best part about these guys is they take only supplies to build, not components. You can click on them to see more of their detailed stats on how good they are at fighting things, how good they are at defending things, their attack rating against soft targets, hard targets, their speed values. This is coastal waters with the squiggly lines, 2.5. They move the best in coastal waters. High seas, they don't do too well. Next, on to the frigate, which is available after you research the Corvette. These guys are fast and throw a ton of lead into the sky. Frigates will do everything okay, but are the best at anti-air and can keep your task force safe from missiles. They are decently fast on the open sea with a speed value of 3.5. Coastal waters is really slow at 1.75. Their hit points are the same no matter where they are, but as you can see from their attack stats, they are very good at destroying aircraft and or other ships. The bad thing about these guys, and if you hover over their stats here, you cannot detect submarines. They are slightly less expensive than the other boats to take. They take components and will only cost you around 2,000 each. I always at least have one of these guys in the task force just for the anti-air. Next, onto the destroyers. These things are true to their namesake and destroy everything, except aircraft. They kind of lack on the missile defense as well. Now they have an attack range of 50 and can detect submarines also at a range of 75. These guys hunt down submarines and take them out. If you have a cruiser or aircraft carrier, these are a must-have to stop submarines. These ships are even faster on the open seas with a speed value of 4.5. When you see these things on the open water, look out. It's going to be a tough fight. Here, if we hover over their stats, you can see their radar signal. That's how much they will be detected. You can see their attack range. You can see their radar detection for ground units, aircraft, and naval units. You can see their sonar detection and that they will reveal stealth. Destroyers are awesome. Next up is the cruiser. These are available after unlocking destroyers. These ships are amazing at fighting other ships, better than destroyers, but do not engage well with submarines. They have a great attack range of 75 and can detect subs as well at 75. What sets these guys apart is their specialization in cruise missiles. They can fire 2 cruise missiles right off the bat and at later levels can fire 3. They have good speed value as well at a 4.5. Their hit points are pretty beefy too at 60 and can all around fight stuff, but this is where they do the best, other ships. Now the last gunboat I want to talk about is the Naval Officer. This guy is an absolute monster. He can attack at a range of 75. He can detect subs at a range of 100. This bad boy is the absolute best. He has great attack stacks against boats, submarines, anti-air, and can fire 2 cruise missiles. What more can you ask for? But wait, there is more. He has a special officer buff that raises the task force attack by 10% and raises the defense by 15%. Oh my god. Now you can only have one of these guys and he's extremely extensive. But when you see one of these in the open water, you better wet the bed because this thing is what nightmares are made out of. By the way, a task force is just a grouping of different boats. It'll be labeled as a task force once you move these boats together. Now, let's talk about big, beefy aircraft. This aircraft carrier takes a ton of resources but can surprise enemies. This ship can allow you to have air influence anywhere. The carrier has a whopping 100 health, by the way. It cannot lay siege on a city, but can fight back a little against other gunboats. It's a little slow in open waters with a speed value of 3.0. What it does offer is air superiority. Make use of hard-hitting planes to maximize offense inland where your ships can't reach. Amazing radar distance of 125, but should this be the hallmark of your fleet? Not really, but it does add serious benefits. The carrier can hold 4 and up to 8 planes, which is not a lot. What you need to have are naval crafts. These naval crafts need to be within ferry range. We'll go ahead and show you how this works. You will need to have the units within ferry range. What you are going to need is some sort of naval plane, like the Naval Strike Fighter. Go ahead and split the Naval Strike Fighter off and ferry it to the boat. They need to be within ferry range of the aircraft carrier to land on the aircraft carrier. And once you have the planes on board, you can go anywhere with them. Again, this ship helps expand your influence. Lastly, we are going to talk about the 2 submarine classes available. They are in a separate check tree and can fight against gunboats easily. That is their job. First, we will look at the attack submarines. These things are made to hunt down other subs, mainly surface contacts. They start with a speed value of 3.5, an attack range of 50, and a sonar of 75. These units do have stealth when they're not engaged in combat, but most ships in the fleet with upgrades can sonar detect them, so no hunt for Red October going on here. Attack subs get the job well done, but have 50% less HP in shallow water. They can also fire a cruise missile, fun fact, which can be super helpful, and they are also super cheap at 700 components. They're only slightly expensive at 1500 electronics. Next is my favorite of all time, the Ballistic Missile Submarine. True to its name, that's what it does. It launches ICBMs and wrecks face. These have an attack range of 50 with a sonar of 100. It can move at a 3.5 and has some stealth like attack submarines. They have half the attack as regular submarines, but that's nothing to shake a stick at. These will also run you 75 components, but about 1500 electronics as well. Relatively cheap, but the big thing that they do is start out by firing 2 ICBMs and can go up to 3. The last thing I want to look at is the Naval Officer submarine. I currently don't have one build, but I have the technology going. We'll look at his stats anyways. This guy, like his surface counterpart, is absolutely disgusting. He has an attack range of 75, a sonar of 75, and a speed value of 3.5. Not crazy stats. But look at this attack. This thing is able to wreak havoc on any surface or submarine contact. And fun fact, it can fire 2 cruise missiles right off the bat. But that's not all. The biggest thing is that this thing gives boosts. Now, it gives a speed value boost to other ships that you're going with. But with attack submarines or ballistic submarines, it ups their attack by 15%. It also ups their defense by 15% and their speed value by 10%. That can be massive. A small wolf pack of these guys will just sink ships brutally. Well, if you have any questions, as always, leave me a comment down below and I will always answer. Thank you very much and have a great day.